Fellow students, I'm here today to clarify the absurd misconception held in one of our most famous states of New York that a burrito is a sandwich. My claim of fact is a burrito fails to meet the qualifications of a sandwich. Now I know here in Southern California it would seem obvious that a burrito is not a sandwich, but in certain cases regarding real estate and tax law, it's become an issue of fact. By citing these cases, I will show you the importance and the difference between the two. I will also show you the distinct definitions of the two from several authorities ranging from dictionaries, legal definitions, and culinary experts. Finally, I will show you how a burrito fails to meet the qualifications of the standards set by these authorities. Now, first off, in New York, they have something called a sandwich tax. Under the sandwich tax falls burritos, bagels, hot dogs. If you were going to call a burrito a sandwich, you would also have to be calling a burrito a hot dog and a bagel. Again, this is completely absurd. It's mostly done for taxation purposes, and I don't think that anyone would actually claim that the burrito is a sandwich, culinary-wise. In Massachusetts, Panera Bread had a location. In their real estate clause, it stated that no other restaurants could open up that sold food similar to Panera Bread. Now, Qdoba, a Mexican food chain owned by Jack in the Box, wanted to move into the same food complex. Panera Bread's lawyers stated that they could not move in under the fact that a burrito was a sandwich. Going to court, the judge ruled that a burrito was not a sandwich using definitions stating that it required 2 slices of bread. This was in Panera Bread versus Qdoba in 2006. He said 2 pieces of leavened bread. The sandwich has European roots and generally recognized as 2 pieces of leavened bread, while burrito is specific to Mexico and typically contains ingredients rolled into a flat, uneven tortilla. This brings us into defining it from the dictionary stances. The dictionary defines it again as 2 or more slices of bread with a layer of meat, fish between each pair. Again, regarding 2, how the tortilla has 1. The dictionary says a burrito with a folded over, has a tortilla, again 1 tortilla, folded over a filling as a ground beef grated cheese. Food industry expert Juthe Quick, consultant for the former government regulated knowing from the USDA, views a sandwich as a separate and distinct food product from a burrito or a taco. A sandwich chef from Cambridge said in his affidavit from the Massachusetts case, stated that indeed the notion would be absurd to call the notion would be absurd to any credible chef or culinary historian that a sandwich was a burrito. And I think that all 3 of those definitions, so what it comes down to is a tortilla versus a couple slices of bread. And clearly, from the definitions given to us by culinary experts, legal definitions, and dictionary definitions, it does not fit under the circumstances of being a burrito. Therefore, we should not have taxes for it. Panera Bread can move into the same place as Qdoba, all that. Thank you.
I want a burrito now.
Everybody who's hungry, put their hand in the air. There you go.
I like how strong it is.
I don't know, I mean, I started eating more salt every day.
Yeah. It's one.
I know where it's one bread is connected.
Trust me, I'm eating a lot of food. I can't say I'm
Handy flour tortilla.
I hate like the idea that sometimes I have to wake up and eat a turkey
And
sandwich.
my grandma's paprika.
You got that outline?
Yeah, they're gonna have to make it
I
bad.
like a steak and egg.
And do you have the draft outline in there too? Okay. All right. I think you've got a pretty good statement of your proposition at the beginning of the speech. Everybody's enjoying the subject. It's an interesting situation. I thought you did a really good job explaining why we ought to be talking about this. You kind of give the justification. We have a tax law in New York. I think your sourcing on that needs to be a little bit more specific, because it's a piece of factual data. Yeah, you could either cite the case or the actual law itself in a situation like that. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that there's a law. I mean, that's why you're talking about it. But it wouldn't hurt to have it cited in the speech. And then the Massachusetts case where there's a suit between Panera Bread and how do you say the name of that other?
Q-Dub is what we
Q-Dub?
were talking
Yeah,
about.
I've actually seen those places. I didn't realize that they were owned by Jack in the Box. That's interesting. But yeah, that there's a little bit of controversy on that. I thought that explained why this subject, which seems like it's kind of a non-subject, actually does matter. So I thought you did a really good job on that. At the beginning of the speech, I know that you're going to be arguing definitions, but it didn't seem to me like it was laid out as clearly as to what the structure of those arguments were going to be, and they weren't really labeled as claims. Now, at the end of the speech, I thought you had a very good summary that told us what all of that was. So it actually, I won't say it so much as rescues, but it definitely clarifies the structure of the content. So it's a little bit easier when people are listening. When you get a really effective summary, you can kind of go back over the information that you heard and say, okay, so this is how it all fits together, and I thought you did a good job on that. The citation of the evidence, when we were talking the other day, I thought you had a lot of that information. All the court case stuff, I thought you did a good job citing that in here. So the evidence is not a problem. Delivery, I think you probably did a little bit more reading than you want to do, but I think that your voice comes across effectively in kind of conveying the bemusement that I'm actually having to have an argument about whether or not a sandwich and a burrito are the same thing. So I thought that was kind of fun. All right, thank you.